like this map as well. If there was ever going to be a good showing out of Heritage, really it was going to be here. But right now, it's still Navi's. Oh my god. It's looking like a game of rants here.
Hunting for that ace. Trying to do it for all us old boys out there. And the rest of the team is sitting back. Nobody looking to try and steal it, trying to help him out. Angel's going to take himself the ace to make it 12 on the board.
From Sugetsu, maybe on the back of his own lockdown being available.
He's got to be careful to not get overwhelmed here, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much vision, and they've already closed the gap. Oh.
Blade Storm gone.
Yeah, bye-bye. Oh, come on, Pit! Cloud's dead too. Give me that Sugetsu POV. This guy is just a demon right now. Nuki is making them work for their dinner. Still no work towards that defuse here. Goes back in for another peek, doesn't get it that time. Seen it on towards the spike, gonna get that defuse if he can. But Sugetsu. Crowd calls. Sugetsu answers. It's 5. And this man is just on form today.
Like that might be the intention again.
Yeah, Angel just got punished for that. He's going to be put on notice after this. The Seeker's just going to be sweeping through the site, keeping Sugetsu forced back. I don't know how he got that while backpedaling, but yeah, that's unfortunate almost for safe to an extent.
And that's Solcast now committed towards the back line in terms of that utility,
wow,
but Yampi does find one. Sugetsu good for the trade though.
Surprised he even got that one there. Felt pushed up towards CT. He was almost too committed. Redgar needs to respect this. Back away deeper and deeper. These Seekers going so far here. Waiting for that reveal. Soulcast holding until that tap on the spike potentially. Sugetsu ready. And now needs to find the kills. He's done so well, Sugetsu! What a goddamn bit of aim that was!
That was absolute filth. I mean, I saw him tapping away and aim that before he started. That looked like another example, Lauren.
So today I am at the zoo, which is why I am wearing the same clothes that I was in the last video as well, because this is being recorded on the same day as the EDG one. So forgive me for that. But today we are going to find out how Navi can win Masters Tokyo. We've got a picture of a young Angel there that I think was pretty funny when I saw it. So yeah, there's young Angel for you. And I'm sure that many of you are familiar with their team of Angel Shao. So you get to Zipan, CNED, and of course the coach Doombros. This is a team, you know, all of these players have met much international experience. And you can see that actually I think Navi, this is the first time that everyone has been positive in terms of their first kills to first deaths. And I was shocked that Angel is positive in first kills to first deaths overall in the EMEA season. That was crazy to me. But yeah, the first team I think to have this, and you can see it's kind of like a bit of a sharing of the load, right? No one's going like super crazy, but you know, obviously with Angel IGLing it's a bit lower, but you know, for the rest of the 4 players it's kind of, you know, consistently just pretty good. Now, in terms of play style, I think Navi and Angel have spoken about this before. They kind of want to be the team that doesn't have a play style, right? They don't have a set way of playing. You might think, oh, you know, Navi, you know, a kind of CIS team, right? They're going to play super slow, all that kind of stuff. But as we're about to see in this next round, they can play extremely fast as well. And this round here, round 7 from their game against Fnatic on Split, was one of many fast hits onto this A site. So let's see how it went.
The judge is out. Good. Does have his ult though, so hopefully we get to see a little finesse with that, but he's not been having the best days here. Could do with a couple CNED rounds for them. Cena just following behind, using it to deal with that Yoru utility. They've taken side control. They will have a plant, but it's going to be a 5v5 retake.
No damage done. Tripwire with by the Trailblazer as well. I was actually committed up here. Rolling Thunder invested.
He's gone back. He's okay. He didn't get pushed off it just yet, but did he get noted? The high flash going to come in. And they are trying to pour through by ramp, but they're not having as much ease of access as they'd like. Smoke put into position, and no damage found.
By a lot of time, actually.
Paranoia didn't quite find his target. Actually, yes, it did. Tell a lie, but it's Sugetsu from above, finding 3. And oh, CNED, a parting gift towards Poster, and Chronicle feeling left down in this round, behind the smoke, unable to try and close down any of these kills, trade any. That's the first. Second found, 2 more, not gonna happen.
But then, of course, as I said, Navi like to play in a lot of different ways. But one thing about Navi is that their players are really good players. There's a reason that we know all of these players' names, because they are good, right? So even when a round doesn't start off too well, like this one here, where, you know, that Prowler, you know, just goes before that Prowler locks onto Vitinho, And so they're down in a 5v4, you know, you're thinking, oh, they're in a bad spot. But if we take a look at what's about to happen in the rest of this round, Xiao's going to come back towards B main here. The drone's going to come out from Giants here. So they're going to send this drone out towards B main, but it doesn't quite catch Xiao just there outside B main. So he now starts to walk up. But then when you see this angle here in a second from Patino, you think, well, this isn't going to end well for Xiao. But Xiao manages to make it work and hit some really nice shots to manage to get that kill there on Fatino. And so now we end up in a 4v4. And you'll see, this is where I think, you know, Navi can be at their best. They're going to leave Angel here just in mid. And Xiao is just going to go crazy in this round. He's actually going to get revealed by a dart in just a second here as well. You can see Giants send a dart in there towards B main. It reveals Xiao. You're probably thinking, oh, he's in a lot of trouble. But no. Hoodie's in trouble because it's Xiao, and he manages to get that kill, and now they start pressuring in onto Cloud, and they're coming for this this exec, but they've still just left Angel here to pick up a free kill as well. And so you see, this is when, you know, things can go really well here for Navi. This is what they can kind of do to you, particularly if their players are playing particularly well, and then Cloud just ends up in a situation where he's got no idea where these players are coming from, picks a bad spot at the wrong time, and this round is over. But of course, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't talk about Navi's comps, because Navi are known for playing some bizarre comps. They change their comp pretty much every single game, every single time they play a map. You know, they'll make one or two little changes. They like to be unpredictable. They like you to not know exactly what they're doing. You know, you can't anti-strat them, all that kind of stuff. And they've been playing a ton of Yoru to mixed success, let's say, so far, a lot in the EMEA split. Here's an example of a good round where you can kind of see the, you know, the vision for the Yoru here. And it's not just, oh, we're playing Yoru, but generally they tend to pair this Yoru with the Fade and with the Omen, with the idea being that, you know, a Fade Seize or a Fade Ult, you know, means you can't hear. An Omen Paranoia means that you can't hear. Then Yoru takes advantage of that. And we'll see a good example of that in this round.
Imagine if this all falls here with all 5 ults online.
Don't say that to me. Don't.
Imagine.
No.
What a comeback it would be from Foot if they send us all the way into overtime.
But I mean, here you have the Yoru ult. They can just go through a tree, reveal exactly where Moj is. Then the follow-up could come, but I'm not convinced that Navi want to commit on this one. Oh no.
2 or 3 players staring through that doorway, peeking through the keyhole, and they find what they're after.
Oh, did he not take Captain? Oh, I think you'll see when he turns around, it'll be fine.
You see him towards the end here, comes out as well, straight away into a spray. Beautiful play from CNET, denying everything away from Foot. They've only got one left standing. It was the makings of a comeback, but Navi get it all in round 22.
But now let's come to their team stats, and you can see here one particular glaring issue for Navi, and that is their pistol win rate. Because most of the teams that we looked at so far, as you would expect, top teams Master Tokyo, but Navi have been really struggling on their pistols comparatively to a lot of the other teams that we have seen. They're also struggling a bit more on their attack side, as you can see, compared to their defense side as well. Now, in terms of their best maps, they've won every game they've played thus far on Pearl, although they're playing a bit of a weird comp. We'll get into that in a second. But really, Ascent, I think, as well, is a map where I think Navi are one of the best teams in the world on Ascent. They've kind of, you know, this core has kind of proved that for a very long time that they like that map, and so that I've put up there as well. In terms of their worst maps, Lotus is a map that they've consistently struggled on, even though we just saw a nice clip of the Yoru on it there. And Haven is a map that they haven't played. Now, does that mean it's bad necessarily for Navi? I'm not quite sure, because, you know, I could definitely see them bringing it out as a surprise pick against NRG. Do not be surprised at all if that happens. And when we look at their map picks, you can see that, yeah, we're permabanning Haven, although, again, I wouldn't be surprised if that changes when we get to Tokyo. And you can see in terms of the maps that they're picking, it's kind of split. They like to pick based on their opponent, I think, a lot in terms of, you know, what they think they can beat their opponent on specifically. In terms of their comps, though, you can see, unlike a lot of teams where, you know, most teams will have like 1, 2, maybe 3 comps that are like completely meta, completely standard. Not for Navi. They like to go in their own direction a lot, and in some of these cases, you know, play very bizarre stuff, you know, like the Yoru, you know, like Sova on Pearl, for instance, that not a lot of other teams are doing right now. You know, they very much like to go in their own direction. And in their agent picks, that comes out as well, right? Where you can see they're not really in on the Harbor stuff, like quite a few of the EMEA teams, not playing too much Harbor, but, you know, big on Omen, big on Viper. They play a lot of Cypher. They're almost certainly the only team that plays more Cypher than more Killjoy. And as you can see, they play Yoru. I mean, they pretty much single-handedly have, you know, are Yoru's pick rate overall. They play a lot of Fade as well. They've tried Gecko out more than most teams, although they've kind of dropped that recently. And yeah, not playing a lot of Rays. They've almost strictly replaced Rays with Yoru, which is kind of a weird thing to have done. And so now let's answer the question, how do Navi win Masters Tokyo? Well, Navi, it seems, are entering this tournament on a bit of a confidence slump. We've just seen them lose 2 series in a row. This one to Foot was quite a surprise as well, and in 2-0 fashion as well. So they're not coming into this tournament on, like, you know, a peak, let's say. So that obviously needs to change. Their players just, you know, need to build confidence. They need to play better, essentially, as individuals and as a team, I would say, if they're going to win Masters Tokyo. In particular, I think CNED, if they are going to win, needs to play like, you know, prime CNED. But we do know that this team, literally every single player in this team has won, you know, an international tournament. So we know that they have the player quality to do so, right? It is definitely there for them if things go right. Now let's talk about the comps and the weird stuff that goes on, because the comps are an issue sometimes. I do think some of the weird stuff that they do helps them. Right, it helps them, and I think particularly against teams like NRG, that are heavy anti-strat teams that are good at anti-stratting. Yeah, Navi is kind of like not a good opponent, I think, for that, for NRG, because Navi are, you know, they aren't going to let you do that. But it's not going to work fully long term, and I think they do need to find some kind of home with what they're doing, and it might be leaning away from the Yoru and maybe going back to a bit more normalcy, you know, now that we've entered Masters Tokyo. Another thing is as well, they can't troll map vetoes, because they do troll map vetoes. Pretty often they troll map vetoes, and that cannot happen at Masters Tokyo. For instance, here against Foot, they let Foot play Lotus, right? And Foot, you know, destroy them on Lotus, right? No big surprise there. Against Team Liquid, they let Liquid play on Split. They actually picked Split against Team Liquid, right? And guess what? They lost. Against Fnatic at Lock-In in the semi-finals, you know, they played, again, Ascent map 5 was their pick, even though that's clearly the map that they had the best chance on. So that is another thing as well. They cannot let that happen. They cannot troll map vetoes. Start picking Ascent. Please, Navi, just pick Ascent against most of these teams, because you will beat them.